Back at Knowsley Road, where he made a record 530 appearances in a 14-year career with St Helens from 1962 to 1976.
Well, they've changed this a little bit, you know. They've put some wall panelling on since I was here last. When I was here, it was just a bit of paint on bare walls. That was my first peg on the windowsill there. Sat on the windowsill, but bearing in mind there were some good players in them days as well.
There certainly was. The double-winning Saints side of 66 included Tommy Bishop, Ray French and Len Killeen. In 72, Kell captained Saints to victory against Leeds in the Challenge Cup final. And then in 76, there was the famous Heatwave final, when Saints beat Widnes 20 points to 5.
A lot of people didn't give us a chance because we'd had a tough, close game against Keighley in the semi-final. But what a lot of people forgot, I think, that there were some good players in that side and certainly capable of playing one good game. And that's what happened at Wembley, you know, when the likes of Cornelius and Mantle and Jeff Eaton were playing. They were exceptionally good players and they turned it on the day.
Kell Coslett appeared in 18 major finals and he still holds the record for the most goals and the most points in a career with Saints. He coached at the club and at Wigan in the 79-80 season, where things didn't work out.
I took them into the second division. Now, I'm not ashamed of that because I thought I did a good job at Wigan. If you look at the record books, I went there and got 50% wins. Now, I think, you know, at the side Wigan at the time, I thought that was a good performance.
But at St Helens, Kell will long be remembered as a winner.
Kell Coslett, one of the local heroes in this part of the world at Knowsley Road, St Helens. Steve-O, they call him apparently Dr. Boot, because every time anyone has a bit of a problem with kicking goals, the call goes out, send for Kell.
Certainly do, but I was the only one that he failed with, I can assure you. A great bloke and a wonderful goal kicker in his time.
Let's take a look at the two sides then on duty here tonight. It's St Helens against Halifax, of course. And these two teams met 3 times last season on Sky, as our crossword told you. And Saints won them all. Steve Prescott is the full-back. It's his home debut. David Lyon is out injured. Mike Riley made only 9 appearances throughout the whole of last season. He's yet to miss a game so far this time round. Jonathan Griffiths plays in the unusual position of centre tonight, the Welsh international. Paul Loughlin missed last week's win at Oldham but returns. He's a survivor from the 1987 Wembley meeting of Saints and Halifax. Anthony Sullivan ran in 4 tries when St Helens were last on the big league against Bradford Northern. Phil Vivers is the stand-off half. Vivers playing brilliantly this season. He's only on a 12-month deal at Knowsley Road. He wants to stay on at least 2 more seasons. He's due a benefit in '95. Shane Cooper moves from his loose forward position to the scrum half role, his first appearance of the season in the number 7 jersey. Jonathan Neal returns to the side to give added weight and height to the front row. Neal is the Cumbrian, highly rated here. Hooker is Bernard Dwyer, who came so close to getting a place in the Great Britain side for the Seawees against the Kiwis. And Andy Dannett, he completes the Saints front row, the former Hull-prop forward, starting to play really well now that he's settling in. Second row sees George Mann in 11. The barrel-chested Kiwi is in fine form this season, back to his best. Solly Nicol is alongside him. His appearances in the series against New Zealand for Great Britain cost the Saints an extra £25,000, part of the deal which brought him here from Sheffield Eagles. And the lineup is completed by one of the outstanding young forwards in the game, Chris Joint. He's only 21 and he's in great form. And the St Helens coach, Mike McLennan. It's a misty and cold night, but thankfully the fog is staying away. It's very, very chilly out there at Knowsley Road, but believe me, this match will warm the temperature when it gets underway at 7:30. Now let's take a look at Halifax. They've had a dreadful record here at Knowsley Road. They've never won a First Division fixture on this ground, 30 years. Steve Lay is the full-back. Lay on loan from Hunslet originally, but he's now signed a permanent deal. Graham Hallis is injured, so John Bentley moves off the wing to cover him. Henry Sharp gets a chance then in Bentley's place. The former All Black, John Schuster, is one of 3 players from the same club in Australia, Newcastle Knights, now playing for Halifax here in the big league. John Bentley's moved in from the wing confirmation. He'll line up in the centre tonight. And Mark Preston is the club's leading try scorer with 8 touchdowns. He completes the 3-quarter line wearing 5. Michael Hagan is another former Newcastle Knight from Australia, the standoff half. There's no Paul Bishop, he's out injured, so Chris Robinson continues at scrum half. He played last week at Wakefield and he scored a try. Carl Harrison returns after missing the last 3 games, a bonus for Halifax this, and his former Hull colleague Andy Dannett, as we've said, is up against him. That will be quite a confrontation. The hooker is John Lawless, the Academy international with a big future in the game, and he makes his First Division debut. Gary Lord is the man highly rated throughout his career by Mal Reilly. He's earning his corn these days as a prop forward. Second row sees Michael Jackson back in the side after missing the early part of the season with a broken thumb. And David Boyd is the 3rd Newcastle Knight. It's his 12th consecutive game since he arrived. And Gary Devorty completes the lineup. He scored 2 tries here in the Premiership meeting last April. And the coach of Halifax and Great Britain, Malcolm Reilly. So that's the way these 2 sides line up then for this vital game. Neither side really can afford to lose, can they? So a big night for someone. Who will turn the game? Steve-O now with some thoughts.
The ever-present George Mann is probably St Helens' most consistent performer this season. Controversy still reigns over his omission from the Kiwi Test side, but their loss has been a Saints bonus. Mann is in devastating form, with some blockbusting runs, especially on the blind side. Halifax have to shut down this tough Kiwi, otherwise they could be in for a torrid time tonight. Despite being 28 years of age, he still has the pace and the class to score that vital try. One man capable of swinging the game Halifax's way is winger John Bentley. The 6-foot, 14-stone flanker can produce some scintillating runs, especially long-range efforts from deep inside his own half. He has the swerve and step and has the speed to curve around the defence, especially if the chasers from the kick are slow to force him into the corner. He reads the game well and loves nothing better than scoring those tries.
Some experienced players on duty here tonight then, and 2 experienced coaches as well in charge of the 2 sides. Malcolm Reilly, as I say, is the coach at Halifax and Great Britain, doing a wonderful job in the national side. And Mike McLennan of St Helens, he is one of the most deepest thinkers of this game of rugby league.
I believe it's imperative that your defence is correct because it's 50% of your workload. I was personally impressed with the performance up at Watersheddings against Oldham. Oldham did come out with a very powerful side and we were able to prevent them from crossing our try line. That actually pleased me.
Is it more satisfying maybe to get that aspect right than to see the side running in plenty of tries?
Well, it's a coalition of both. We want to complement that with efficiency and accuracy in attack, and that has to be incorporated with a discipline factor throughout the side. So there's a number of ingredients, but if you haven't got a good defensive screen, well, you're going to relinquish points and you can't hope to win football matches when you're standing behind the sticks.
It's mouth-watering, I think, playing against St Helens. They're a very entertaining side, and obviously we'll be going out there to play football.
Does it worry you, looking at the statistics, the points for and against, up there in the top 6? I think you're one of the highest in terms of points against.
Yeah, I think we're still plus 70 or something in that region from 11 games. We obviously suffered at the hands of Castleford, where we conceded about 35 points there. But I'm quite happy with that for and against average at the moment. We're just looking for points.
Going back to the games against Saints last season, I think there was 1 point in it there, and it was very close here. Do you think it's going to be as tight this time? Yeah,
we had 3 encounters against them in the latter part of the season. I'm pretty sure it will be, I mean, they're predominantly... they play expansive football. Our defence was an improvement on last weekend. We got our defence right, and we'll be looking at opportunities on the fringes and hoping to score some points.
Over the last 20 years, these 2 have met 20 times. 13 wins for Saints, 6 for Halifax, 1 draw. Saints have never lost to Halifax in the big league for 30 years. They've won all their matches here at Nosey Road. We keep saying that, don't we? This season, Saints have scored 47 tries, Halifax 43, But as you can see from the against column there, defence has been a problem for Halifax. That's quite unusual under Malcolm, really. And the form book, well, both have played 11. Saints have 4 home wins. Halifax 3 away wins, just 1 defeat away from Thrum Hall, and their sole draw came against Hull. That's the way this one shapes up on paper. If you look at the way the two sides line up, though, Steve-O, you picked out George Mann and company as perhaps vital areas for St Helens, but the fact that Loughlin returns to the centre, and for Halifax, they've not got Hallis and they've not got Bishop.
A big blow to Halifax to lose Hallis, and also the fact that Bishop's not playing. It puts a lot of pressure on Michael Hagan, because really he's the man that makes things tick. The advantage that St Helens have is the fact that they can use Vivas and also Cooper as the pivot role, and that can confuse the defence. But as Malcolm really said, he said that they'll play football. I think he's throwing a little bit of a wild one there, and I think they'll play very, very tight, because I think they've got to get and mix it in with St Helens very, very quickly. As we mentioned before, they've both got great three-quarter lines, but if the forwards don't start taking control, then neither of them are going to get the ball, and I think that is the key. They've got to get mixed in very quickly, and I think that Halifax will make it very warm for St Helens in the opening 15 minutes.
Well, we're not too far away from finding out, are we? Last time we were here at Knowsley Road, remember, St Helens turned on the champagne football for us. 10 tries against the league leaders then, Bradford Northern. It was tremendous stuff. What's it going to be like here tonight at Knowsley Road? We'll find out in a few minutes' time. Don't dare go away. We have the whole match for you coming up. It's St Helens against Halifax. Title hopes on the line.
Seize the day. You're watching Sky Sports.
The time is now. Seiko Kinetic.
Hurry to Halfords now! Halfords Screen Wash, save £2. Castrol GTX just $6.99. Great gifts like 20% off all Picar stereos. Kids bikes from $39.99. Cycle helmets from just $14.99. Plus choose £25 of cycle accessories absolutely free, with every rally activator too. At Halfords now.
In spite of it all, lady in red. Let's stay together.
For Christmas, Woolworths is right up your street.
All action! Frontrunner Video burns back with Car Wars 7. All new nerve-cracking, metal-melting mayhem. Wild smashing, uncontrolled crashing. The limits of man and mangled machine. It's seventh heaven for car crash crazies. It's Car Wars 7. All action! Bike Wars 2. Lunatic leaps into oblivion. Bikes, brakes, burning rubber. It's beyond belief. It's Bike Wars 2. It's the business. With Rally Cross 93, Bike Hero 5, and the best of British motor racing. They're all here and they're all moving fast.
TV presenter Ulrika Johnson uses Head and Shoulders.
On TV, people always notice your hair, so it's got to look perfect, which means dandruff would be headline news. I've used lots of shampoos, but my stylist convinced me to try Head and Shoulders. I found Head and Shoulders not only takes care of dandruff, but its rich lather really takes care of my hair. Now all I've got to worry about is my lines.
Head and Shoulders. Forget dandruff. Have beautiful hair.
We're out of honey. Come on, Teddy, let's nip down to the shops.
Oh, blimey, a traffic warden. Hey, Vernon!
Come on, Teddy, another ticket would be too grisly. Will you get in?
All right, Vern, you're worse than a bear with a sore head, you are. Oh, this is nice.
Yes, it's a new Renault 5 Campus.
5-speed gearbox.
Yes, but, oh, reverse is my favourite.
Oh, lovely stereo. Whoa!
Nippy, this 1.4 engine, isn't it?
Do you need any bare necessities, mate?
The Renault 5 Campus. Only 5555 on the road.
for the power to stop a chesty cough making everyone's life a misery, go straight to a name you can trust. Benylin, Britain's #1 selling cough medicine, has a clinically proven formula that gives immediate action and deep, penetrating relief. Benylin, what a relief for everyone.
The time is now. Seiko Kinetic.
Sunday on Sky. At 2, it's live football, and Sky Sports brings you a scorcher as Villa travel to Anfield to face a rampaging Liverpool. At 6 on Sky 1.
Are we the most pathetic family in the universe or what?
There's another hour of The Simpsons. And at 7, imaginations are running wild in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Then at 8, a Sky Movies premiere.
We don't know what she's capable of.
The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. That's Sunday on Sky.
Seize the day.
Well, no sign of any fog to cause us problems here at St Helens tonight, unlike Bradford last Friday night. So, all being well, we should get a bit further into this game than 13 minutes tonight. Anyway, in fact, when you consider what the conditions were like earlier this week, it's remarkable this game is on, because the pitch was rock solid with ice and it really did look a lost cause. But there's been a remarkable transformation in the last 48 hours. In fact, conditions are just about perfect now. A bit of give in the pitch, but it's nice and firm just underneath. And the players actually are quite enthusiastic about playing on this surface. Weather-wise, well, it looks as though we're in for a pretty good evening. It's cloudy. There's the threat of some light drizzle. Very little wind to speak of from the southeast, and the temperature around about 1 degree. So a positive heat wave here at Knowsley Road.
I don't know about a heat wave, Bill. It's very, very chilly indeed, but the thermals have been ironed, and everyone here tonight enjoying this. Let's take a quick check on the St Helens team. Prescott, Riley, Griffiths, Loughlin, Sullivan, Vivers and Cooper, who is the captain, of course. And up front, Neil, Dwyer, Dannett, Mann, Nicol and Joint. The substitute, Gus O'Donnell, the big league's drop goal specialist, and Ian Pickavance, the club signing from Swinton during the summer. Halifax, their team. They've got 1 or 2 notable absentees, but Lay continues at full-back. Sharp is on the wing. Schuster, Bentley, Preston, Hagan and Robinson. No Paul Bishop, of course. No Graham Hallis. Up front, it's a little bit nearer the mark, with Harrison coming back, the captain. Lawless, though, takes over from the injured Southernwood on his debut. John Lawless. Lord, Jackson, Boyd and Devorty. Substitutes Mark Perrott and John Fieldhouse. 2 big forwards if needs must. That's Steve Prescott, the young fullback who has really been catching the eye in the Alliance team this season. The Alliance team in rugby league means reserve team, and he's filling in for the injured David Lyon. So Saints also have their injury problems. And another young man who is on his debut. It's Prescott's home debut. This is the debut of John Lawless in the big league. And Malcolm really says that he is a great prospect. The referee, David Campbell, gets us underway here at Knowsley Road. It promises to be a tremendous game in the Stones Bidder Championship, and these two sides have been saying all night their big league title ambitions really do, Steve-O, go on the line.
Yes, it's so important that they get off to a very good start. Most important, especially as we emphasised before the game, the forwards have to take control, and I do expect it to be very tough and hard in the opening 15.
This is Gary Devorty on the break. That's a lovely ball from Devorty, and it was good support too from Robinson. Lawless from the acting half-back position finds Hagan. He dabs it forward. Loughlin traps it with the right boot and then runs forward, but Lawless was quickly in.
Well, really not the best kick there from Mike Hagan. He wanted a little bit more depth. Loughlin just getting the right boot to it, stopping it very quickly.
Sonny Nicol with his first run of this match. Bernard Dwyer going into dummy half and setting off on a good run too. Dwyer The man who Malcolm Reilly, the Halifax and Great Britain coach, said was very unlucky to miss out on the Kiwi Test series. He's very much in his thoughts. Now here's Prescott. Takes St Helens up to halfway. It's a great name of St Helens tradition, isn't it, Prescott? Eric is Steve's dad, and of course Alan Prescott too. Steve Lay, there's a good ball in field to Preston. Preston is brought to ground by Paul Loughlin.
Good play there by Preston. You could see he went back to help the fullback Steve Lay. Excellent position by the winger.
Limping back out onto his wing. Halifax meanwhile have surrendered possession. Joint gets it to Mann. Mann with the ball inside. This is Loughlin.
Oh, great play there by Jonathan Neal at the play of the ball. It hit the ground. It was not against the rules. You're allowed to do that.
This is Jonathan Griffiths. He's only played a handful of matches in the big league in the centre, but he's adding one to his total here tonight. John Neal slips the ball out in that tackle, but that was untidy. I think Halifax have got the ball back.
Well, he did a good thing, didn't he, Jonathan Neal, by striking at the play of the ball to get possession, but really he should have kept control of that. There was never a chance of a pass on.
Lawless was the dummy half, and he finds Schuster. John Schuster, the former All Black. Rather fancy he will be interested in what goes on at Twickenham tomorrow, but there the ball is spilled again by Halifax. It's now with Nicol, now Griffiths. Griffiths trying to get away from Bentley. Can't do so.
Oh, bad mistake there by Michael Jackson. Bit of nerves coming into it. It's quite cold out there also. But that was a bad mistake. That's twice that Halifax have applied pressure to themselves by these silly mistakes. It's been a problem of theirs for the past 4 or 5 weeks.
Well, everything in Halifax's favours against them here tonight. It's their bogey ground. And if nerves will play a part, well, they will know, as do St Helens, that they daren't lose tonight. Good run here from Dannett. And Dannett is held up by Devorty and Michael Hagan. The tackle completed, even though Dannett didn't hit the ground. Referee shouted held. Vivas hoists the bomb. Difficult ball swirling its way into the air, but it's knocked down and back into Halifax hands.
Super kick by Vivas. There you can see quite clearly that Vivas is running in front of all his players, making sure that they are all on side.
Well, we saw the high kick, didn't we, last Sunday in the match between Warrington and Castleford, causing so much trouble. And on a night like this, when certainly there will be icy fingers out there, the bomb is a very important tactic. That's David Boyd, the Australian, disappearing under the tackle from Dannett and from Neal. High kick downfield this time. Underneath it, Sullivan. Took that easy. Set off on a great run. Remember, 4 tries, 4 of the 10 that St Helens scored against Bradford Northern last time our cameras were here. But he couldn't hang on to that.
Well, was he interfered with there? No, it was right. I thought perhaps that Chris Robinson had taken the man before he received the ball, but good refereeing by David Campbell.
5 minutes gone again. St Helens try and strike the ball at the play of the ball, but they didn't manage it that time. Halifax keep the movement going until Griffiths brings Bentley down. Preston's the dummy half. This is Harrison. Lawless to Robinson to Hagan. Hagan drifts one over the top into the corner. Well, there's a bit of pace out there for Sharp and for Hagan himself, but that was a little bit too hard.
Far too strong there from Hagan, but the idea was there. Realised that Henry Sharp on the right wing was screaming up. It was a set move, but just a little bit too long.
St Helens trying to move the ball along that line, as they did to good effect against Bradford Northern. Loughlin had a tremendous game that afternoon, and Halifax will be looking to snuff him out. Dwyer, the dummy half again. This is Dannett. Dannett has suddenly started to find his feet in St Helens after his move from Hull. Now John Neal. It's the last one of the 5 for St Helens. This is Vivers. Chip over the top from Vivers. Almost collected. The ball comes back. It's play on, says the referee. Griffiths. That's the last tackle completed. That will be the turnover.
He failed to realise there, Jonathan Griffiths, but it was great play by Vivers. Kick over the top there. Hagen really went for it, and the fullback, Steve Prescott, did well to get it back. This was play on. But Jonathan Griffiths unaware that it was the last tackle.
That's David Boyd again. 7 minutes gone, still 0-0. Devorty with that little run, halted by Mann and Cooper. Halifax 6 games unbeaten at the start, but 3 defeats in their last 5. They're 6th in the table, in possession with Jackson. That was a good ball from Lay to Bentley. He has invited Preston to have a run. We saw Mark Preston, of course, run in the September try of the month. It's the last tackle this for Halifax. Hagen again drifts the ball over the top. Prescott collects. Steve Prescott, the St Helens fullback, on his home debut, son of Eric Prescott. He scored 174 points, Frankie Barrow, his 18 coach, was telling me, in the reserve team in 10 games. Quite a record.
And what a tackle we saw there from the prop forward, Gary Lord. Oh, ball and all tackle, just shook the ground there.
The St Helens supporters starting to get a little impatient, but I don't think it's with their team. I think it's with the referee, David Campbell, from Widnes. He, like all officials who comes here, gets plenty of advice from the terraces at Knowsley Road. Henry Sharp disappears under that tackle from 2 of the biggest men on the St Helens side, Neal and Nicol. This is Lawless. Little scampering run from dummy half, halted by his opposite number, Bernard Dwyer. Hagen now to Devorty, and then he helps it on. That's not the best pass in the world from Robinson. Michael Jackson's having a right old go at him.
Well, you could see that Jackson wanted the ball back on the inside. Robinson thought he was coming outside him. A little bit of misunderstanding between the 2 players. Not surprisingly, but you could see quite clearly that St Helens had moved up quickly.
This is Prescott. The lad lacks no problem in the confidence department. Lachlan, though, grounded by Schuster. Now Cooper. That's a good ball to Mann. Switches the direction of the attack. Mann keeps the ball alive. It's Prescott who's there. Tries to keep it going. But the ball is back in Halifax hands again. Henry Sharp just dropped on that loose ball.
Another good run there by the prop forward. Or should I say second row today. George Mann made that go out wide, but it wasn't the best pass from Joint. Would have been forward, but the referee allowing play on. Halifax in possession.
Nicol is there to bring John Bentley to the ground with a bit of help from Joint. Lawless on his debut, another man who shows no lack of confidence. That was a big hit on him, though, by Neal.
Oh, Jonathan Neal there. You could see that it hit the shoulder. And that's another one. Oh boy, they're fired up.
That's a good ball. Boyd trying to take it up again. Takes them over halfway. 10 minutes gone, 0-0. That's a good kick downfield. Gains a bit of territory for his team, does Michael Hagen, with that kick.
Wonderful general, the Australian. Really does run this back line for the Halifax side. They'll be a bit disappointed, though, Halifax, because they want to try to get us into the quarter, and St Helens perhaps to apply pressure to the youngster Steve Prescott. They've not had that opportunity as yet. It was to be expected that Prescott, making his home debut, would have plenty to do.
Vivers. Having a great season, Phil Vivers. Only got a 12-month deal last summer. On the verge of a testimonial season, which is so lucrative to players these days. Here's Neal, shoulder to shoulder with Gary Lord. Gets the ball away neatly, though, to Bernard Dwyer. Deforty and Lawless finish him off. Cooper switches the ball straight into the arms of Mann. Mann running over the top of the Halifax defenders, but Deforty sticking to the task well. Chris Joint, the dummy half.
What a season George Mann is having. So strong. How on earth the Kiwis could keep him out of the Test side is beyond me.
Carl Harrison, the Halifax captain, is down, clutching his elbow or his arm as Steve Lay picks this ball up. Only back after missing 3 matches, Carl Harrison, and needing treatment, and he's in some distress. Looks like something has been dislocated, and they're trying to sort him out. There's a mistake. A few of these Halifax, it's Gary Lord, a few of these Halifax players, as you can see, have got scrum caps on, and it doesn't do much to aid the old identification, but that was Lord.
All the time in the world to take that. Bad mistakes. It really has been a nightmare for him, this Halifax side, and oh dearie me, that is a bad sight. Only back after an absence, under a lot of pain there. Looks like a dislocated elbow.
Fieldhouse comes on then, John Fieldhouse, and he is a former St Helens forward, of course. He played for St Helens against Halifax at Wembley in 1987. That's a big blow for Carl Harrison. This is the way he got injured.
Probably caught a flying boot or a knee. In the meantime, St Helens have gained a penalty. They were kicking round at the play of the ball before the ball had actually been placed onto the ground, and this should be an easy kick. St Helens to open the scoring.
So a big blow for Halifax, losing their captain after just 13 minutes here at Nosey Road, and perhaps even worse coming up for them now with Loughlin. But no, he misses it. Well. Well, that is a surprise. Loughlin was bang in front, a kicker of that quality, Steve-O. That should have been 2 points.
Well, you can hear the crowd, or should I say the lack of noise from the crowd. They're quite as stunned as what we are. And it paid off, because that was definitely a professional foul by Halifax to give away perhaps the 2. They realised that their skipper Carl Harrison was on their way to the dressing room. Will take no further part in this game, that is for sure.
No doubt about that. He has a suspected dislocated elbow, and that means he will miss some more of this campaign. That's a big blow for them. But Fieldhouse is on there, and he's up against his former team, as I said, and there'll be no shortage of guts and determination from Fieldhouse. But it's Vivas now to Griffiths. Griffiths almost away from Bentley, but Bentley stuck to his task well. 2 players head-to-head there, really are playing out of position, Bentley and Griffiths. Vivas with the high kick, Lay's coming for it, and Lay takes it. Oh, and that was a collision and a half. George Mann first in.
That is the reason why this game is one of the toughest in the world. Everything was fine. Now, I don't know why David Campbell
isn't convinced, Steve. I think he's pulled him maybe for offside here.
Well, all he did was use the shoulder charge. He's got him for the flop. That's why he's penalised him. And also having to go at the winger, Henry Sharp. Now, that was fair. But he did flop onto the man as he put him down. But that really is just bringing the tackle to its conclusion. That's a mystery one.
Halifax have not found touch with that penalty. That's a big error from them. And here's George Mann again, the man who conceded the penalty to Halifax. Anxious to get on with it, though. Neal turns in the tackle, gets the ball away to Nicholl. Nicholl gets away from Fieldhouse, runs straight into Gary Lord. Tell you what, Steve-O, there's some claret flowing out there. There are some bloody noses already in this match.
Well, it's not tiddlywinks. We knew it was going to be tough. They're getting into each other. Both sides quite content to use the forwards. That looked a late tackle also.
Dannett with the driving run, looking for the line, Andy Dannett, but forced back. This is Dwyer on the last tackle. Has he got the ball down? Yes, he has. Bernard Dwyer with the 4 points from dummy half. Bernard Dwyer, the man looking for a big game to prove that Malcolm Reilly was perhaps wrong to leave him out of the Great Britain side this autumn.
Quick play of the ball, that's the reason behind all this. It was a great run by the prop forward. Look at Dannett's strength there. And look how many Halifax players are around. 5 went in, quick play of the ball. Look, they're still on the backward trot. And the man who's very wily indeed, the hooker Bernard Dwyer, takes full advantage. Went down low before he got to the line. Makes it very difficult to stop. Excellent thinking from the hooker. Brings a smile to the face, and rightly so.
His 5th try of the season, 9 years at St Helens. Bernard Dwyer's only representative honour, a Great Britain Colts cap in 1985. Paul Loughlin with this conversion attempt from far out on the touchline. Missed the easy penalty from bang in front. Will he slot this over? No, just fades away. So St Helens 4 points, Halifax 0. Bernard Dwyer's try.
Look how quickly he sees that there's only one man there. There he goes, low trajectory. 4 points, thank you very much indeed. Excellent play. Look how he goes low. Very difficult to stop a man like that. Excellent play.
First blood to St Helens then. St Helens who beat Bradford 54 points to 3 in the last home game. But perhaps more significant, they have won consecutive away games at Leeds and Oldham. The team that took Wigan right to the wire last season, losing the title only on points difference, is back in business. But Halifax, they know how important this match is for them too.
Bit of a problem there. I'm sure that their coach Malcolm Reilly will have plenty to say to them the half-time break. 5 men going in to try to stop one man, the prop forward Dannett, and then to find yourself with just one man on the blind side, that is a sin, and they paid accordingly.
Here's Prescott with the run, stopped by Schuster.
Certainly no lack of confidence, is there, in the fullback Steve Prescott. That's the 5th time that he's wanted to chime into the back line.
Yes, he loves to get involved, doesn't he? And the last time we saw his opposite number disappearing under the Anthony Sullivan and Phil Beavers tackle, Steve Lay, he had a big game against Salford. And from being a lone player from Hunslet, Steve Lay suddenly joined the staff at Halifax. At the moment, he's keeping Steve Hampson out of the side. A dreadful record, or that looked high from Nicol, and the referee says it was, and Gary Lord is not too impressed with that.
Well, he went directly for the head, didn't he? No doubt about it. This is what I like. Why the referees don't start using the yellow card for this. There was no attempt to try to tackle him fairly.
Nicol treading on thin ice, sent off on the opening day against Hull Kingston Rovers, sent off in the test match that he played in, the 3rd one at Headingley. So he's been off twice this season already, Sonny Nicol. But what a competitor, Steve-O, having said all that.
He is a competitor, but he gives it away. Stupid play by like that. That was premeditated. He made no attempt to try to tackle the man. And this is where I'd like to see the referees just say, bring out the yellow, that'll stop him, get on with the game.
We're midway through the first half of this match at Knowsley Road. Saints 4 points, Halifax 0. John Fieldhouse, number 15, on the pitch because Carl Harrison, the Halifax skipper, has dislocated an elbow. Good play, but that wasn't. Although, fortunately for Halifax, that ball went backwards. It's John Lawless, tackled by Beavers, tackled by Griffiths, rather. St Helens were after that loose ball from the moment it was fumbled by Halifax, and they really did push the Yorkshiremen back to halfway. It's the last tackle, this. Robinson with the kick over the top. Here's Prescott again. Well, they gave him big raps to me when they announced the side. Did the St Helens coaching staff. They say, look out for him. You'll enjoy watching Steve Prescott. And so far, After his debut in the big league last week at Oldham, this is his home debut. He has certainly not failed to impress.
That's what we want to see from this guy, Nicol. Steve Prescott there. He's had a big game, and let's have another run. That's better. Get on with attacking football. That's what you want to become famous for, not for what we saw a few seconds before.
George Mann breaks through one tackle, releases the pass to Chris Joint. Joint twisting and turning as he took that tackle. Couldn't get the ball away. Vivas will hoist the high kick again. Another tester for Lay. Vivas has put everyone on side, but Lay came up with it.
Nice position from the fullback, Steve Lay, but also good refereeing by David Campbell. He'd picked that 2 of the 3 of the players from St Helens were offside. That's why they left him alone.
That's a great ball from Bentley. It releases Preston. Preston's got the youngster ahead of him. Oh, Preston goes round Prescott. Great play from the Halifax wing of that. Well, last time he was here in the big league, Mark Preston dropped the ball when it could easily have turned defeat into victory for Halifax. But he really did take on the youngster then and took him out wide.
Beautiful pass by Bentley, set off the winger. And Preston, look how he veers in and then goes on the outside. He knows he's got the pace. We're passing the glory on Steve Prescott. It was sweet and then it turned sour. But it takes a very good defender to stop this man when he's in this mood. Beautiful pass out wide. Hagan sets off Bentley. Bentley just gets the ball away before his knees make contact. But look how he moves in. Changes the ball to his left hand so he can fend with his right. He didn't have to. He knew he had the speed. That is a great try.
And delight written all over the face of Mark Preston. Halifax's leading try scorer ever present in the team. That's touchdown number 9. And Prescott, when he's in that sort of form, is irresistible. One of the best wingers in the game. John Schuster now with the conversion attempt. Could be a problem for Halifax. They have Paul Bishop injured, their regular goal kicker. I noticed they scored 3 tries, but no conversions last week in their victory. It was a victory at Wakefield. But will this kick find the mark? It most certainly will. And John Schuster's excellent conversion has given Halifax the lead.
Look how Bentley's delayed pass pulls in the winger, and that is where Preston goes on the outside. Super stuff. Look at this now. Look how he goes and veers towards the full back. He makes him think he's going to go on the inside and then sets off. It's called an in and out. It's very simple and basic, but I tell you what, it's effective.
Mark Preston, it's his first try in 3 matches. An unusual barren spell for Preston on the Halifax wing, but he's come back with a bang on the big league tonight. Here's Gary Lord. Halifax up against it, losing their captain. Fieldhouse on for him, Carl Harrison that is, but now in the lead, perhaps significantly, we'll see.
That really will have lifted the Halifax side. They were going through a period where perhaps they were losing control. They lost the plot somewhat. They were going one-out football all the time, and that's the first time, really, that Halifax have run the ball out wide, gone through 3 and 4 pairs of hands. They took the gamble within their own quarter. Not a lot of coaches like that, but I'm sure that Malcolm really would on that occasion.
Well, they know if they get the ball out wide to Preston and it's 1 against 1, he'll probably do the business for them, and so it proved. Just less than 15 minutes to go, and the St Helens supporters now are getting a touch impatient. I think they're claiming that quite a few of this Halifax defensive line are moving up and are offside.
Great defence by John Schuster. That's about the 5th tackle out wide that is pulled off.
Little chip over the top, it doesn't find touch, so Lay will have to run this ball out.
Well, we talk about confidence, Eddie. Remember this time last season, that vital game, it was the first game that Malcolm Reilly was the coach of Halifax. They could have won that game, and it was that man, Mark Preston, in the same corner that dropped the ball. No one in front of him that could have won the game.
David Boyd has to take the tackle. Lawless was the dummy half. Fieldhouse is the runner. Lawless again at dummy half. The ball back now with Hagen. Hagen, good kick downfield.
Well, it's amazing what a try can do. You can just see Halifax have been lifted. Even the kicking game's got better. Oh, good play from the young fullback.
Yes, he's brave, and as we say, he and Lawless lacking nothing in confidence. Tira Partey of St Helens, last year's First Division Player of the Year, is a long-term absentee for Saints this time round, but he's watching this match and talking now with Bill Arthur.
Tia, it's just starting to settle down into a really fascinating struggle, this, isn't it?
Yeah, sort of both sides had a good feel in it, and you know, I thought our lads were getting on top there, but we've made a few errors like that one there, and they sort of let them back into the game.
Mark Preston certainly takes some stopping when he gets going like that, doesn't he?
Yeah, once he gets in full flight, you know, I sort of wouldn't envy any fullback's job having to tackle him, but you know, he scored a good try there, and Steve Prescott made the best attempt he could to stop him.
As you say, you were probably getting on top at that stage. That's brought them right back in now, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. You know, the thing about Halifax is, you know, you can be on top of them, but they've got players like Michael Hagen and them out there that dictate the game really well. And, you know, with guys like Mark Preston running about, you know, they're always in with a shout.
John Bentley has had the wind taken out of his sails with this tackle here. Riley and Griffiths, I think he may be, well, it may be more than just his wind out of his sails. He's a lucky boy if he's got away with that.
Yeah, I think it falls onto the ball, actually. There you can see ball into the midriff. Can be very painful.
He's a bit groggy, but Halifax will continue this movement with Lord. Gary Lord, he's a great favourite in his career with Malcolm Reilly, his coach. Hagen, Devorty, Robinson. That's a good ball from Robinson, bringing the second rower Jackson into it. Michael Jackson will certainly be looking for a big game today against these two second rowers of St Helens.
Just didn't get it right then, Halifax, moving the ball out wide. They were looking for an inside runner. There was only Jackson on the outside.
Hagen just drops one over the top. And Prescott lets the ball run dead. Quick tap on their own 20-metre mark by St Helens. This is Anthony Sullivan on one knee, thought about releasing the pass, decided against it. And that's why the St Helens supporters have been getting at the referee. They believe that Halifax line has been moving up all the time, and you can hear the applause for this decision in the background.
Well, you can see the prop forward, Gary Lord, never made any attempt to come back to the referee. Quite a few on the referee, David Campbell's left-hand side also. Gee, they love the meadow whistleblowers here, don't they?
14, Mark Perrott has come on for Halifax, and he has replaced the Australian David Boyd. But I tell you what, Steve, when David Campbell blew the whistle for that penalty, well, they'd have heard the cheer in Wigan. They'd have thought that Saints had scored the try.
Yeah, there's not many Christmas cards got a St Helens post on it. Going to the referees.
That's a great ball out to Sullivan. And is he in? No, referee says play on. He's just held up, just short of the line. Desperate moments these for Halifax. Man.
Oh, what a beautiful pass from the loose forward, Chris Joynt. Going to the ground, ball out wide to Sullivan. It deserved a try. It was super stuff.
Cooper dabs the ball forward. That was well read by Preston, but he's in trouble. He's behind his own try line. That'll be a drop out underneath the Halifax post.
Good play there by the winger, but really that was a super kick from Shane Cooper. It's all about putting the opposition under pressure, and that's what that man did.
Perrott on for David Boyd, involved in the action straight away. Not much length on that drop out, and it finds touch over on the far side from John Bentley.
Wouldn't be too happy with that. Looks a bit confused himself. There you can see he wanted it a little bit deeper. Scrum will form just outside the Halifax quarter.
So it gives St Helens the chance to examine this Halifax defence once again. They got possession from the scrum. Here's Joint. Halifax working overtime to bring him down. Bernard Dwyer at dummy half. Ball back inside to Neil, and it was a good job he was missed by Fieldhouse, but here's Dwyer again! 2 for Dwyer! Both of them quick thinking from the dummy half position. He's been injured, touching down, but he has restored St Helens' lead.
There's no point basking in the glory. There you can see they didn't even have a second marker. He knew that, and Bernard Dwyer took full advantage. The Halifax defence was all at sea, and the man has done it again. Look at the big run. This is the play up to it. The big prop forward, Neil. And once again, the combination, Neil playing the ball and Dwyer taking the 4. Halifax defence shot to pieces. Look, 2 on the ground, 2 slow, only 1 marker there. You can't afford that when Bernard Dwyer is sniffing around.
Bernard Dwyer with 2 tries. I wonder if this match is coming just about 5 weeks too late for Dwyer, because he missed out on the test match purely and simply, I understand, because he was outplayed in the match against Sheffield Eagles here by Lee Jackson. Malcolm really picked up the reports, and although he concedes that Dwyer was very, very unlucky, he made his choice on the man he thought was in form. Change of kicker for St Helens. Prescott takes over from Mocklin, and Prescott adds the 2.
Only 1 marker. Look at the gap. Come and take it, Bernard. I'll go the 4, and that's what he does. There'll be plenty to be said by Malcolm Reilly to the Halifax defenders.
2 tries. Bernard Dwyer having a great night. Steve Lay restarts. His team trailing 10-6. 6 minutes now to the half-time break. Nickel on the run. Good tackling. Great tackle from Lawless. We've talked a lot about Steve Prescott, but my word, Lawless has caught the eye too for Halifax.
He's worked very well. He runs well from the dummy half position, and I'm sure we'll see more of that in the second half, because Malcolm Reilly will realise that St Helens have got this defence very quick. They're moving up inside. They're making Halifax play down the middle, one-out football far too often.
Mann gets the ball away to Mike Riley. Incredible run Riley's having in the first team. He only started 9 last season. He's been ever present so far. Vivas again with the kick. Hangs, but Steve Lay watched it all the way, and Steve Lay then slipped. Henry Shard. 5 to go, half-time. 10-6. The ball went backwards, says the referee. John Lawless breathes a big sigh of relief. Hagan was looking for someone in support then. Lawless again. Now Robinson.
That's Halifax's big problem at the moment. They've only got really 1 runner that's coming out wide, and that's Michael Jackson. But oh, isn't this kid taking the eye? Confidence personified.
Steve-O, we have seen so many good youngsters come through this season already. Isn't the academy working?
Sure is. And you'll be able to see more academy in the new year.
We start our academy coverage in March. That's the under-18s. And it's the Academy Cup leading right the way through to Premiership Finals Day at Old Trafford. Cooper showed it to Vivas, decided against it, took the tackle from Devorti. Referee saw a swinging arm. I think it's penalty St Helens. It is.
Here it comes.
Michael Jackson, the culprit.
Yeah, just a little one. And really, that's undisciplined. We keep mentioning it, and I'm sure they coached us also. But far too often, Halifax have been their own worst enemy. Giving away silly penalties. Really does stop the momentum. A successful side has to play out the 6 and make sure they play territory, get the ball downfield, and not give away penalties like this.
Prescott has taken over the kicking from Paul Loughlin. He's on 1 from 1. He's bang in front, but he is 30 metres from the posts. He kicks a sweet penalty. Steve Prescott stretches the St Helens lead to 6 points, 12-6. Malcolm Reilly on the front row of the director's box at Knowsley Road, watching with a frown on his face. No wonder. Loughlin collects the kick-off. That left arm heavily strapped, of course. He's broken it a couple of times. Doesn't want to do it again. Nickel. Jackson round his waist. Gary Lord round his ankles. Fieldhouse in there for good measure. Here's George Mann. Breaking the tackles again. What a season this fella's having.
Tremendous play, but you've got to give credit to the St Helens team and their coach Mike McLennan. They love to work the forwards on the blind side, and it works so often for them, especially with George Mann in this kind of mood.
John Neal says get out the way to Bentley and feeds Cooper. That's the last tackle, but was that a flop from Lawless? Referee says no, play on. Vivas dabs it forward. Preston reads it, picks up, but Vivas has followed up. Great stuff from Vivas. Into the last minute of this first half. Mark Perrott trying to work the ball up the other end of the field. Just a try and a goal in it, of course. 6 points. 12-6 St Helens lead. Devorti. Halifax trying to use the quick play of the ball. Lawless, that's a good run, a good pass too. The ball is kept alive. This is Robinson. Last tackle. Good stuff from Riley. Hagan is there. Halifax running it on the last tackle. That's to nobody in particular, though. The ball is kept alive well, but Griffiths was there, and the referee says that when Preston picked that up, it was illegal. Knock-on is the decision.
Yeah, the knock-on is given there. Fullback Steve Lay trying to keep the ball alive, so that'll be the handover.
This is John Neal. Stoppage time now, first half. Gets the ball away brilliantly, Neal, to Dwyer. Cooper.
Well, there was no support there. Cooper was looking for the man to come onto it.
Griffiths was getting treatment in back play. He's now joined the line, but the ball is over on the other side of the field, and it's back with Halifax. Steve Lay now the full-back.
Well, with the scoreline at 12-6 in St Helens' favour, Halifax will be quite happy, perhaps, because they really have only entered into the St Helens quarter on 2 occasions. One was when they scored, of course. So all the position and all the possession that St Helens have had in this first half, really, they'll be quite happy with Halifax trying to turn things around in the half-time break.
Robinson. Schuster gets away from Loughlin. Oh, it wasn't a good pass. Luckily, Robinson was there to pick up the pieces. Keep the movement going.
I think he was knocked down, actually, trying to get the ball away. So that really should be back to 6.
Referee has said it's the last tackle. Here's Bentley. Gets the ball to Jackson. He releases it to Fieldhouse. Now with Hagan, and now with Perrott. And that was good play from Lawless. He's found Schuster. This is wonderful stuff. This is Sharp. Henry Sharp. And so close. That was inventive stuff from Halifax, right on the half-time siren and on the last tackle. The half-time siren comes, St Helens 12, Halifax 6. Sonny Nicol, tremendous first half. We've seen both sides of his character, though. The high swinging arm, but some wonderful runs at times from the big second rower. And hasn't Steve Prescott caught the eye? And Bernard Dwyer.
Seize the day. You're watching Sky Sports.
2 undercover cops.
We buy drugs.
In too deep.
How many you want?
Your word.
Make the case.
Are you telling us to plant evidence?
Based on the best-selling true story.
All we got is each other.
Some people think, Jim, after you come.
Right!
So we have a situation.
I can do what it takes.
When you come in this, it can't be halfway.
The British TV premiere, Rush, begins our undercover cop season, Saturday at 10, Sky Movies.
So don't miss out. To subscribe to Sky's movie channels, call now on 0506 460000. That's 0506 460000.
Mama. Mama? Mama. Mama. Mama.
Marmite. Her mate, your mate. Mates for life.
I fancy some beef. If I could take that grill out, I could do a cracking steak on it. Oh yeah, a big juicy sirloin, all marinated and garlicky. Look at it just sizzling away there. That's enough that side. Cool, that beef looks well tender. It's gonna melt in the mouth, that is. A few herbs. Just doing me time.
British beef. Even the thought of it tastes good.
Our chimney's so small, Father Christmas can't get in. So I have to choose the presents instead of him. A tape of Guns N' Roses for my brother's fan. And for my sister, something scary. She's a horror story fan. For Mum, a video that'll help her keep trim. And my cousin plays computer games, so we know what to get him. Dad needs a golf book, because his swing's got a slice. Which just leaves me. Some more crayons would be nice.
The new Volvo 440, airbag included.
This is Carl Banks. His career has been plagued with injury after injury after injury. However, none of them were his. Carl Banks, linebacker, only wears pony.
Here's one whose 10-year-old hit, I Wish I Could Fly, was re-released as an Acid House record.
The Trivial Pursuit 1993 annual edition. You won't know unless you play.
Seize the day.
The voluntary tackle is when a player goes to ground before the opposition can tackle. This results in a penalty.
It's half-time here at Nosey Road. St Helens 12, Halifax 6. Tries from Bernard Dwyer with 2, and Steve Prescott, the youngster, with the 2 conversions, or rather the conversion and the penalty, and try for Halifax from Mark Preston. The goal from John Schuster, 12-6 it is at half-time. We said it was vital, and of course both these sides realise that if they lose tonight, they could be out of the big league title race, because 4 wins before Christmas, 4 defeats rather before Christmas wouldn't do anyone's championship hopes a power of good. But Steve-O, the game really, it hasn't got going yet, has it? We've seen Halifax try and snuff the St Helens attacks out, and generally they've succeeded.
Yeah, the defence has been good, apart from the fact that when St Helens got very close on those 2 occasions, Bernard Dwyer took full advantage, and you could see quite clearly that the defence was going in a backward motion. They didn't have a second marker, and when you've got a man like Bernard Dwyer around, then he's going to take full advantage, and that's what he did. But full credit to Halifax. They'll be quite happy to be only 6 points down at the break, mainly because of the fact they have not really had any territory in the St Helens quarter. What a great try, though.
Yes, they scored a great try. St Helens have scored 2 excellent tries, and Bernard Dwyer, this is his first, and both of them, Steve-O, have come from dummy half.
Yeah, well, it's the same old ploy that the St Helens do. They try to run very strong in the forwards, and Bernard Dwyer is a very crafty man indeed. He takes full advantage, he runs from the dummy half position. All he has to do is just to look to see whether the defence is going on a backward motion, and that's what Halifax have done. They really have been their worst enemy.
Halifax, though, they got themselves on the score sheet, and what a super try this was from Mark Preston.
Yes, any youngster watching there, you can see that Preston had shifted the ball away so they could fend off. He didn't need it, actually. He had the speed to get round Steve Prescott. You couldn't really blame the youngster there, because that guy is a very talented winger indeed. Exceptional football, but what a great pass from Bentley. And that was one of the first occasions that Halifax really started spinning the ball out wide. Late in the game, we saw that Schuster come into the game a little bit more. He's made 3 good breaks, and I'm sure that the word will be now, we can't take them on in the forwards. St Helens are far too strong. Let's try to get the ball out wide. And I think Hagen will do that. He'll try to get the ball well and truly, miss a few men out, try to get it to the wingman.
Well, Bernard Dwyer, he has never scored 2 tries for St Helens before, but he has now.
Well, you can see there what I was talking about quite clearly. Halifax there just kept well away from him. Quick play the ball, take full advantage. Full credit to the boy.
Yeah, he's doing well, isn't he? And it's a big night for him, because he wants to just poke a finger, perhaps, at Malcolm Reilly and say, you should have chosen me for the test, not Lee Jackson.
Well, he wouldn't have let anybody down, would he? Let's face it, he's been knocking on the international door for quite some time, and let's hope that his turn does come along. But I think he's got more on his plate for the next 40 minutes. He'll be more interested in making sure that St Helens get those 2 points.
So St Helens 12 and Halifax 6. That's how we stand at half-time. Obviously, the match is up for winning in the second 40 minutes, and we've got every one of those 40 minutes coming up for you right here on Sky Sports. 2 tremendous tries from Bernard Dwyer. He really has caught the eye, but who'll catch the eye second half? Find out next.
Seize the day. You're watching Sky Sports.
The time is now. Seiko Kinetic.
Hurry to Halfords now! Halfords Screen Wash, save £2. Castrol GTX just $6.99. Great gifts like 20% off all Pie-Car stereos. Kids bikes from $39.99. Cycle helmets from just $14.99. Plus choose £25 of cycle accessories absolutely free, with every rally activator too. At Halfords now.
Words can't describe new bird's eye fish cuisine en croûte.
JJB Sports have scored again with more fantastic offers. The Nike Driving Force basketball boot in black or white, JJB price, only $19.99. The Head Anatom Master Tennis Shoe, JJB price only £19.99. And the Nike Junior GCT Low Cross Trainer in black, JJB price only £14.99. Shop at the store that never fails to score, JJB Sports.
power to stop a chesty cough making everyone's life a misery, go straight to a name you can trust. Benylin, Britain's #1 selling cough medicine, has a clinically proven formula that gives immediate action and deep, penetrating relief. Benylin, what a relief for everyone.
Done that. Did that. Been there. Tried that. Done it. Did it. Done it. Doing it tomorrow. Whoa! Never did it.
New Pepsi Max. Maximum cola taste and no sugar.
Did it. Done it. Liked it. Loved it.
Live life to the max. New Pepsi Max.
The time is now. Seiko Kinetic.
Kick off for 2 furious days of football action. Live at 2, Ford Super Sunday. Can the Kop inspire a Liverpool comeback? The Reds clash with Villa.
That is sheer quality.
Live Ford Monday Night Football. The Saints head-to-head with the Hammers. Will the Informer Tissier crush Billy Bond's Claret and Blue Army?
He's pulled another rabbit out of the hat.
2 days of explosive football. Sunday at 2, Monday at 7. Exclusively live on Sky Sports.
Seize the day.
Big 40 minutes ahead of us, and Helens 12, Halifax 6. Bernard Dwyer with 2 tries, Prescott with 2 goals. Mark Preston with a super try for Halifax, and John Schuster with the conversion. 12-6 it is. Statistics from the first half. Team tackling, level pegging, despite that possession statistic that favours St Helens at the bottom. Scrums, Saints 4-1. Penalties, Saints have had 3, Halifax 1. And just 8 handling errors in the match, shared out absolutely equally. It's going to be Halifax who will get this second half underway, and is Bernard Dwyer on the threshold of his first ever hat-trick. He's got 2. Can he get 3? No doubt Malcolm Reilly will have told his players to watch for Dwyer at the play the ball if it's near their own line. St Helens in possession. Graham Hallis missing from the Halifax lineup tonight. Talking now with Bill Arthur.
Graham, what was the talk in the Halifax dressing room at half-time?
We've got to improve this defence out wide. We've got to start moving the ball out wide, and we've certainly got to improve on our kicking game.
But was Malcolm generally pleased or displeased with what he'd seen in the first 40?
He was pleased with aspects of the game, displeased with others, especially those 3 things that I've mentioned.
But at 12-6, you're still in it, really, aren't you?
We certainly are still in it, and if we can improve as we want to, then there's no reason why we can't take this ball game.
And do you think right at the end of that first half there was that run by Henry Sharp? Is that an indication of what you've got to do in this second?
Well, by that run from Henry Sharp culminated in the ball being moved wider, and as you can see from that, we've brought the Saints' defence down.
Okay. Yes, there was certainly encouraging signs for Halifax in that first half, and Graham Hallis out of this match with back trouble, and as he has indicated there, they're certainly not throwing the towel in yet, not by any stretch of the imagination. Robinson, the dummy half, and Michael Hagan just drifts one into the corner, picked up by Anthony Sullivan. Jonathan Griffiths, hauled back by the collar by Bentley. John Neal just had a look over his shoulder, didn't he? See if there was anyone coming up behind him. There was. It was Bentley. Andy Dannett.
Well, they're playing percentage football now, St Helens. They've got the 6-point lead. You can see 3 times there they've just used their forwards. Quite happy to work it out to the halfway line and get the long kick downfield.
Vivas Kicks the ball towards the corner, but that's got too much behind it. Halifax will restart with a tap on their own 20-metre mark.
Not the best kick we've seen from Vivas, but that's the idea. That will have been the ploy from their coach, Mike McLennan. Let's play that percentage. Let's play nothing silly. You can't get the ball away, just die with it. Don't take the risk. It's Halifax that have to do the chasing.
Jonathan Griffiths is carrying a bit of an injury. He's hobbling out on that far side. As Jackson gets the ball away. There's Griffiths. Trying to run off a knock. Hagan gives it to Schuster. Schuster gets away from Mann. It's a bit high from Mann, but Gus O'Donnell warming up. And Lawless tried the chip and chase. Loughlin got to it, but the referee says he knocked on as he brought this ball in. Bit harsh.
Well, he made an attempt to try to grasp at it. If it had just turned the body and made no attempt, it would not have been a knock-on. The referee, David Campbell. Also good refereeing by Campbell. He made a little bit of a passing comment to the second rower, George Mann, for that high tackle.
Players coming off for both sides. Griffiths for O'Donnell. No one coming off for Halifax. Sorry about that. It was just Griffiths for O'Donnell. I saw the number 3 held up, and of course it's an unusual position for Jonathan Griffiths, isn't it, in the centre? But it's O'Donnell who's come on for Jonathan Griffiths. Halifax, meanwhile, are in possession with Devorty. Now it's with Hagan. He finds Preston. Preston dancing and skipping in front of that St Helens defence. O'Donnell, the drop goal expert in the big league. He has managed 8 one-pointers. Robinson, long pass out wide. It's a good ball to Devorty. Good tackling back by Sullivan. Bentley is there, the dummy half. Ball just clipped over the top. And Prescott said, that's mine.
Wonderful call by the youngster there. Vivas was in front, and a good shout by Prescott said, it's mine, and it was.
Loughlin running strongly. Five minutes, second half gone. As we were at half-time, 12-6. John Neal gets the ball away to Dwyer. He finds Cooper. Cooper releases the pass to O'Donnell. That's good tackling, though, by Robinson, and with a bit of help from the not inconsiderable weight of Fieldhouse. Riley.
Pretty good defence by Halifax. You can see they're using the sliding defence tight, moving in, not allowing St Helens any chance to get it out wide.
Vivas kick, and underneath it is Henry Sharp. Steps inside Cooper. This is a good run from Sharp. He's got Vivas to beat, though. And Vivas is formidable. Lawless. Again, Vivas the tackler.
He has impressed, hasn't he, the hooker John Lawless, making his debut. Very clever from the dummy half.
That's a good ball. Back to Jackson. Jackson almost lost it, just held on to it round by his ears. Bentley releases Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse so close, it was a good job O'Donnell was there. Perrott to Robinson, to Hagan. Halifax, a lot more movement started this second half. Lovely ball inside to Robinson. Great try. Hagan destroyed the St Helens defence with that pass, and Robinson was the man in support.
Great play by Halifax, keeping the ball alive. John Fieldhouse took the ball out on the left. Hagan just throws the dummy. And you can see how they just stand off him. No one went low. Mann and Dannett were at fault there, but good support play by Chris Robinson. But a super play by the Australian. Ball comes out wide. Now watch how Hagan slows the game down. Throws the dummy. The step there, they both go high. And they paid the price, but superb positioning there by the little halfback Chris Robinson. Come on, give me the accolades that I fully deserve. Lick that, he says.
Robinson, 2 in 2, and Hagan, the man who created that try here at Knowsley Road, right under the sticks. Should be easy then for John Schuster. bang in front. The New Zealander, the match is all square. Little knot of Halifax supporters behind those posts, and they're celebrating that kick and that try. 12 all.
Super play by Hagen. He pulls two men to him, and when you go through, you've got to go low. They didn't, and this is the result. Beautiful position by the halfback. Look at the inside pass. Great play.
Henry Sharp with the run from the kick-off. Oh, a mistake immediately. Gary Lord. No, it's Lawless. Young John Lawless. He'll want the floor to open up and swallow him.
Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? He was going to run on the blind side.
O'Donnell and Cooper working a little run around.
Interesting, Eddie, we haven't seen one of the crisscross moves from St. Helens as yet. Maybe they're driving into set up for it this time.
Dwyer, the dummy half. Nicol is the runner. A buzz of excitement goes round the ground when Nicol gets hold of it. He released the ball to Joint, and Joint juggled with it and just couldn't hold on. Chance goes.
Well, they're not playing percentage football, are they? There was never any chance of getting that ball away, and in a wonderful position they should have gone to ground.
So first blood, second half to Halifax. John Schuster's conversion, a great try from Chris Robinson. Lawless now from dummy half, wanting to make amends for that mistake a few moments ago. Robinson, try scorer, good step, good ball, Fieldhouse, but was it forward? Everybody underneath our commentary position thought so, but they're in red and white favours. The referee thought otherwise. Hagen again with the kick. That ball just hung in the air and bounced perfectly. It means St. Helens must work the ball away from their own line. Sullivan with the handoff goes round Bentley, and then Preston comes in for the kill. That was a mile forward, Steve-O.
Half a mile anyway.
Ten minutes of this second half gone then, and it's all square at 12 points apiece. Such an important match for these two sides. Loughlin picked that ball up brilliantly, fed Riley. Riley cuts in field, can't get away from Schuster or Henry Sharp or Gary DeVorty.
That all came about by a quick play of the ball.
Nicol is the runner for Saints. That looked high. Nicol's head went back. Referee took a look, said that was the last tackle, play on. O'Donnell, drop goal specialist, just misses. He'll have a crack from anywhere, won't he?
Good thinking by the substitute O'Donnell. Way offline though, I'm afraid. Tried to hook it back through. That just shows you the importance when so early in the second half they're quite happy to take that 1 point. Really has been a good performance by Halifax after the restart. Words of wisdom from their coach Malcolm Reilly, no doubt.
Schuster limping, he's just had a word with the Halifax trainer. And here's Michael Jackson. I thought a moment ago that Jackson was struggling. He was obviously catching his second wind, because that wasn't a bad little run from him. Hagen just clips one over the top. Cooper watched it and read it perfectly.
Great positioning there from the St. Helens skipper Cooper, playing in the defensive role, the sweeper. Knew the kick was on, but I've been very impressed in the second half the way that Halifax are using the combination of Hagen and Robinson and getting the link working. They realise that there's more glory to be gained out wide.
St. Helens driving it down the middle at the moment with Neil. Suddenly there's a touch of frustration on the terraces here at Knowsley Road. Joint to Mann, that's a better ball to Loughlin. He has to take the tackle though from Hagen. Mann again. Toe pokes it forward. Henry Sharp is there. Ooh. And Henry Sharp felt the full weight of George Mann. I think he might have used an elbow.
He uses the elbow. Sharp goes down. Elbow definitely went in there, and good touch judging. Notice the left elbow. Oh, yes. Come on. We can do without that. Here it comes. I don't believe it. They've finally done it for foul play. Take a bow, Mr. Campbell. That we can do well without.
George Mann then in the sin bin for 10 minutes. If it had just flopped on Sharp, no one would have had any complaints. But the use of the elbow, and he's reduced his teammates to 12 men for the next 10 minutes.
Well, they just rattled out the St. Helens. Really, when they should have been coming out full of confidence, 6-point lead, they should have been taking control. They haven't. They've lost the plot somewhat, and Halifax, they are really firing.
The ball went backwards, said referee Campbell. Well, he won't be getting Christmas cards, as Steve-O said, from the St. Helens area.
Well, he was reefed out by Joint, no doubt about it. He didn't drop it. It was pushed out.
Here's Preston again. Preston, the man with all the speed. Prescott to face him once more. Oh, wonderful try! Magnificent from Preston. Absolutely breathtaking.
Absolutely wonderful play. Bentley again. We talked about using the ball out wide. He used Steve Lay, the fullback, and once again, copybook, in and then out. Experience against the youngster, and rightly so. Preston enjoys this. We talked about the link. Hagan, see how the long ball out wide, it pulls the man in off the wing. Anthony Sullivan expected Steve Lay to come at him, in and out, and then the step, and then the acceleration. Enjoy.
Mark Preston, tremendous try from him. Super try, Mark Preston. His 10th of the season. Halifax have the advantage. And we've been saying all the way through this evening that Halifax haven't won here for 30 years. But my word, their coach, Malcolm Reilly, he has tasted plenty of success here at Knowsley Road during his career with Castleford. John Schuster then with this conversion attempt. Halifax 4 points to the good at this stage, 16-12. Difficult conversion attempt coming up from Schuster. Important kick this. Just misses. St. Helens 12, Halifax 16.
See how the winger St. Helens, Sullivan, comes in. He thinks Lay's going to get it. The long ball's out wide, and away he goes. Super stuff. Look at that. Great pass.
And another kick-off goes directly into touch, 2 bounces. Second time we've seen that tonight.
Quite happy to let it go there. The Australian Mike Hagan knows that it's the head and feet for Halifax. Well, what a turnaround in the second half. The St. Helens in the driving seat. Now it's turned around.
And Halifax really do have their tails up, don't they? And Mark Preston, with his 2 tries, he's cancelled out the 2 from Bernard Dwyer. And here's John Fieldhouse. Get the feeling that St. Helens need to readjust. Of course, they're down to 12 men with George Mann in the sin bin. And Halifax exploited the little bit of space that is available to them, but Preston, he dropped that. Devorty dropped that. Touchgood saw it on the far side. David Campbell, 10 metres away, didn't.
Well, perhaps Campbell was looking to see that the Halifax defence was getting back. Should I say St. Helens defence. Good touch judge there.
Sullivan had nowhere to go then when he received that pass from O'Donnell. The 2 players in front of him. Cooper to Nicol.
I just get the impression that perhaps St. Helens thought all they had to do was go through the motion. But really, they've got to start working hard now. Vivas and Cooper have got to start combining and get this road back on, show back on the road.
O'Donnell to Prescott. Can't get away from Schuster. Dwyer, the dummy half. Again, he goes on his own. Again, he makes ground. Again, he draws applause from this St. Helens crowd. Laughlin to Cooper. Dannett it was on the run. Dwyer again. Cooper. Cooper thought about releasing the pass. Didn't do so. It was on the last tackle, so it's the turnover.
That's not the first time that St. Helens has been caught looking for the runner. They just are not working.
Michael Jackson. And the big number 8, John Neal, made a play for that ball when Jackson was about to play for it. And it's a gentleman's excuse me. Robinson. Hagan, the dummy half. Here's DeVorty. Ball back inside to Lord. Good tackling Dwyer. Working hard. Bernard Dwyer. Now Perrott. Dannett with the tackle. Finished off by Chris Joint. Lawless. Hagan. High kick. Tester for Prescott, the youngster. Drops it. Gets its second attempt.
It's a knock on. No one interfered with him. In fact, the nearest man was the captain, Shane Cooper. Chris Robinson did the right thing, did not interfere. The pressure, it mounts.
Youngster just dropping it under pressure. Certainly it is a pressure game this now for St. Helens. And this is Bentley. He gets the ball away to Hagan. If Preston would have picked that up, that would have been a hat-trick. But there's mistakes both sides. And referee Campbell says this comes off the foot.
Well, that was a try time, wasn't it? Hagan's pass wasn't the best, under the ground. Then it was Cooper that picked it up, and they made a real mess of that. The tension, it's the nerves. They know how important this is.
Neal was gritting his teeth then. Fieldhouse brought him down. Here's Dannett.
Oh, there's plenty going in.
Dwyer again. Straightens up. Takes St. Helens to halfway. Prescott, the dummy half. O'Donnell. Clip over the top from O'Donnell. Well read, Robinson.
He's had a super second half, hasn't he, Chris Robinson? There in the sweeping role. Picked out that kick from O'Donnell very well.
Here's Steve Lay, the fullback. Yes, there's some players catching the eye on both sides that you wouldn't necessarily expect to be the men featuring. He is one you most certainly would, Michael Hagan. Lawless has had a great game. Fieldhouse running strongly.
They're getting over the advantage line at Halifax. St. Helens a little bit slow to move up now.
Hagan again, another tester for the young kid at fullback, Prescott. He misses another. But Schuster, I think, was caught offside.
Interference there. Set off just before. No, on the replay it was onside, so it must have been foul play. Perhaps interfering there. Well, offside, said the referee. Penalty given.
George Mann has returned from the sin bin.
And what a costly sin bin that could well prove.
Yes, while it was off, Halifax scored the try that has given them the lead. And David Boyd has come on for Gary Lord. And there he is, involved straight away again in the tackling.
I mentioned earlier, Eddie, about the fact that St. Helens, they have yet to put on a move, which is most unusual for them.
Lachlan gets the ball away to Joint. He finds Shane Cooper. Cooper releases the pass. Play on, says the referee. Joint picks up the pieces. Perrott has him. Nickel now. Hagan stood up to the challenge well. It's the last tackle for St. Helens. It's with O'Donnell. Clips one into the corner. I don't think he's got the range quite right yet, as Gus O'Donnell.
A little bit too strong. Halifax quite happy. Fullback Steve Lay quite content to let it go there. Now it's there, and Halifax in the driving seat. And I think it's getting to that point now where St. Helens realise that it's a panic situation. They've got to start changing a few things, and perhaps Shane Cooper to go into the loose forward position, and maybe Chris Joint to be running out wide a little bit more. He's played very central in the loose forward position tonight so far.
That possession statistic is a complete reversal of things in the first half. Here's Lawless. Suddenly Halifax have got a bit of a spring in their step, but that wasn't the best pass from Perrott. Schuster picked up the pieces, finds Hagan, gives it to Devorty. Devorty releases the pass. Lawless fancies a run, or just drops it under pressure. Both sides, Steve-O, trying to force the pace, aren't they? And these mistakes are coming.
Well, it was a shame there for the hooker. And it's a good job that Vivas was there. Maybe he interfered with the pass, just got their hand to it. He didn't touch the ball, he just pulled the hand away.
Here's George Mann. Fresh and out of the sin bin. Tips the pass outside to Riley. Nothing Riley could do other than take Henry Sharp's tackle. Cooper to Dannett.
Yeah, they're relying far too often for George Mann to be running out on the blind side or out wide. And really, they've got to do something now. Push another forward, perhaps, as we mentioned.
Here's Mann. Now Riley. Good tackling by Henry Sharp. He's coming to the side tonight, Sharp. He's let nobody down. Dwyer. O'Donnell. The ball went backwards. O'Donnell will hoist one high. Vivas went for it. Lay went for it. Bentley picks it up. St. Helens, Steve-O, always look attractive and look dangerous when they fling the ball out wide. Is it a question that they're using the wrong tactics, or are Halifax simply bottling them up tonight?
Well, the second half display from Halifax, both in attack and defence, has improved from the first stanza. That there's little doubt. But I just get the impression that St. Helens, they're slacking off a little bit and expected something to happen. You've got to work for it. Halifax are doing just that. They're working hard.
Less than a quarter of an hour to go now in this match, and Halifax ahead by the 4 points. Schuster gets the ball to Sharp. Now, was there an obstruction there? Referee says no and allows Sharp to run on, and then says it's the last tackle.
Oh, I don't think it was an obstruction. Sharp was pretty well back from the man in front of him. Probably about 10 metres. Pretty hard to get an obstruction from that.
The kick from Hagan just finds touch. This will eat up the clock. That's experience from the standoff half. You notice when Halifax were coming from behind, his kicks never found touch. Now they're finding touch.
Yes, when you're on the in front on the scoreboard, it's amazing how Lady Luck seems to just shine upon you.
St. Helens in possession then with George Mann, but in their own quarter. Vivas gets the ball to Lachlan. A run coming in from Riley. He goes through Sharp. He couldn't get away, though, from the second man in, that was Hagan. St. Helens want to play the ball quickly. Vivas to Mann. Now Joint and Cooper. O'Donnell. Suddenly the momentum goes, but then he cuts inside and just picks up pace. Cooper. Joint. Good run from Joint. This is better from St. Helens. Crowd getting behind them now. Cooper again. They've loaded the left-hand side. Vivas, Lachlan, Riley. Just brought down 5 metres short.
What a great tackle from the fullback, Steve Lay.
Cooper again, gives it a bit of air to Vivers. Vivers stabs the ball through. Lay gets it, Lay drops it, ball goes free. Oh, it was a good job that the Halifax man was there. Mark Preston it was.
Oh, Lay made a real mess of this, didn't he? Look, it slips out behind him. Now, was that a knock-on forward there? I thought Lay got a hand to it. Wasn't to be either way. It's a drop out from underneath the post, but oh, panic situation.
Panic, pressure, call it what you will. The referee has given St Helens a penalty here. Now then.
Well, the referee, David Campbell, obviously not bemused. Well, was Vivers taken out before? I don't know. I think he's given offside. Remember I said that perhaps he touched it, the fullback, and I reckon the ball went forward, and when Mark Preston touched the football, he obviously must have been deemed offside. The confusion reigned, with St Helens perhaps thinking about taking the tap right in front, but they opted to take the 2 instead.
Prescott straight between the uprights. There's certainly no complaints from the St Helens crowd about that decision. 16-14, the gap just 2 points. Any hint here, Steve-O, from the high angle behind the posts?
Well, from the kick, I don't think he was taken out too late. That wasn't it, because there was no reaction. He said play on. Now look at this, I think he just touches it. No, he doesn't, it's off the foot. Offside. Came off the fullback, Steve Lay, went forward, referee correct.
Because Preston picked it up from an offside position. So as I say, no complaints from the St Helens fans about that, but my word, they've been complaining bitterly all night about this referee, David Campbell.
Doesn't matter what name he has. That was high. It's like Jackson threw the left arm, the right arm, should I say. There's plenty of football in this game to go.
Absolutely, we have 10 minutes left. 2 points the difference. Cooper works the ball to Riley. Riley pulled down by Mark Perrott. Last tackle for St Helens. They're on halfway with O'Donnell. And he finds Lay.
Oh, he wouldn't be happy with that, O'Donnell. Right down the throat of the fullback, Steve Lay. That should have gone right into the corner, applying no pressure whatsoever.
Well, let's have a quick word with Jonathan Griffiths, the St Helens man who's come off the field. He's the centre. I'm sure they're not giving it in. Bill Arthur's with him.
Jonathan, nail-biting finish to this one. Do you think you can snatch it?
Well, obviously, yeah, we just got to keep the pressure on them, and hopefully in the last 10 minutes we can clinch it.
But their defence has been pretty stubborn, hasn't it?
Yeah, we knew that they're, you know, with the coaching they've got there, that the defence can be very tough, and you know, we just got to be patient and keep battling away.
George Mann forced the error, but was it a high tackle here on Jackson? No, it wasn't.
No, he used the shoulder, the impact pushed the ball away. That could be a costly mistake there. Halifax clinging on to this 2-point lead.
Joint gives it to Cooper. Cooper to O'Donnell. O'Donnell long to Vivers. Couldn't get away from Bentley. Hagan penalised for the flop on Vivers.
Well aware is the referee, David Campbell, now that time wasting is all to the fore, and that certainly was.
The penalty has taken St Helens about 15 metres closer to that Halifax line. Here's Bernard Dwyer.
What a game the hooker has had. Bernard Dwyer has worked hard like it does every game.
Cooper switches the direction of the attack, but well brought down by Boyd, finished off by Perrott. This now is Dannett. Dannett twists and turns, no one in support.
Surely they'll put on one of the moves.
O'Donnell gets it back to Joint. He keeps it going. Dwyer was a bit surprised to get that. He finds Cooper, his captain. Nickel. O'Donnell. Prescott, the fullback. Last tackle for St Helens in this set of 6. O'Donnell dabs the ball forward. O'Donnell. The ball goes free, and Halifax have it in the shape of David Boyd.
Nice casual kick there by O'Donnell. Beavers coming up on the blind side. There you see, there didn't quite get contact to it, but Beavers was onside. Good defence again from Halifax.
We promised you a thriller, and a thriller it is turning out to be. Less than 7 minutes to go. And look at that tackle count, reaching the 150 mark for both sides. 5th tackle for Halifax. They're only 20 metres from their own line. Hagan says, let's get out of here.
Tell you what, though, they're taking a big gamble. That's to play the balls where the foot didn't make contact with the ball. They really are testing themselves there. Referees often penalise them for that.
You get the feeling that the next score now will win it. St Helens in possession with Riley.
It really has been a great defensive display from Halifax this second half. They've moved in quickly. They've tried to snuff them out, and that's what they've done very well indeed.
Dwyer, the dummy half, gives it to Dannett. He helps it on to O'Donnell. He finds Chris Joint. And that's the 5th for St Helens. They're really getting through the tackles. Cooper chips it over the top. Hagan read it well. Thought about releasing the pass. Thought better of it. Now then, the referee has blown the whistle. And that's a signal I've never seen before.
Going to the head. Well, what on earth was that? Jackson looks bemused. So do I. Referee was patting his head or working his head or...
Well, I'm often bemused by signals and decisions.
All I can say is that Jackson did not make any attempt to go back onside in possession of the football. In other words, the rule states when you're a defender, you should be back, which was St Helens 10 metres. As you are an attacker in possession of the football, you must be back 5. The referee has penalised him for not making any attempt to get back on the 5. A rare rule, and could be a costly one.
It could, because this is Prescott, and Prescott, cool as a cucumber, the young teenager, has levelled the scores up at 16 all. Well, stand by your bets. We're in for a big last 5.
Well, the crowd were quite happy to accept that penalty. I wonder what the crowd would have done if the penalty had gone the other way at the other end of the field. They would have gone mad.
4 minutes plus stoppage time then. Gary Lord has returned to the fray in place of John Fieldhouse. A one-pointer could win this, and St Helens have got Gus O'Donnell, the drop goal specialist. He's got 8 drop goals this season already, but having said that, the ball has got to be up the other end for them to have a chance for 1 point. But that bounced off a Halifax head. It's play on, and O'Donnell was tackled by Hagan round the chest.
And what a great tackle by Hagan. It had to be. O'Donnell was in the clear.
Sullivan. Are St Helens going to pluck a victory from the jaws of defeat? Cooper.
It's so important now that Halifax don't give away a penalty. Get back quickly.
St Helens will want to run this ball up the middle and get into a position for a Gus O'Donnell drop goal. Here it is. This time it slices off the boot and didn't even have a chance, and he knows.
The opportunity, the reaction and the agony says it all, doesn't it? As soon as it hit the boot, he knew it was not going to be a one-pointer. But Halifax have got a lot of work to do to get out and try to get into a position to take their chance for the 1 point. That's the only way I feel that this game is going to be split.
Lawless pulled down by Vivers. Here's Devorty, will try and run it up the middle for Halifax. 2 minutes of normal time, plus anything the timekeepers add on. Schuster for Halifax, dropped on halfway.
Surely they'll put pressure on the young fullback, Steve Prescott, again.
It's the last tackle, this. Hagan, it bounced off the back of Joint. Referee says it is still the last tackle. Halifax have decided to run it. Now they put boot to ball. Riley will collect it for Saints. The last hurrah for St Helens, perhaps. Dwyer. Lachlan. Oh, it's been rough and tough as this one. We expected it to be, and it could all come down to just the 1 point drop goal at the end of the day. 16 all, a draw is no good to either side. Ball has come free because that was a ferocious tackle on John Neal.
Jackson really put the shoulder into him there. Crunch. Jonathan Neal felt the full weight of that, the impact. Ball bouncing out. This really is the last chance for Halifax.
Steve Lay goes through O'Donnell, can't get away from Lachlan. Halifax now will try and work the ball up the other end of the field. Preston, the man who scored 2 tries. Henry Sharp. The last half minute of this match. Lawless. Stopped by Mann.
What a great debut from the hooker, John Lawless. He can feel very proud indeed.
Gary Lord with the drive. That's the last tackle. Now then, is there anyone on the Halifax side capable of a drop goal from this distance? Well, Hagan tried it. Didn't reach. Here's Prescott. Such confidence from the youngster, as he has shown from first to last whistle here. Vivers. 2 outstanding youngsters again we've seen on Sky tonight. Lawless, the hooker for Halifax, and Prescott, the fullback for Saints. Tremendous.
Quite right, Eddie. They've been the stars in my book, along with the hooker Bernard Dwyer from St Helens.
Well, it will now come down to 1 point, that's all, because we're in stoppage time. Dannett. It's the last tackle for St Helens. The ball is with John Neal. Neal releases it to O'Donnell. He can't drop a goal from there, but he's trying for the try. The Halifax man made a play for it, Robinson, and he got the ball back.
Very brave Robinson there. He put his body on the line, knew that Gus O'Donnell was in with a kick. Oh, that was great stuff. Super play. He's had a great second half, Chris Robinson.
We've had over a minute now of stoppage time. The scores are level at 16 points all. Neither of these sides really would have wanted a draw. How long will the timekeepers add?
1 point is better than nothing, though. It's been a super fight back from Halifax. Just before the half-time break, it looked as though St Helens were going to take control of this game.
Hagan's kick downfield, it hangs, Riley gets to it. Schuster's after him and gets him. There's the siren, it's all over. 1 point apiece. The spoils are shared. 16 all. Tremendous game. Great display second half from Halifax. St Helens had to dig deep and fight their way back into the match. And 16 points all, I suppose, just reward for all the effort from these two sides.
Seize the day.
You're watching Sky Sports.
It may be freezing in Britain, but in India the action is just hotting up. After a week of nail-biting cricket, India and the West Indies are through to the Five Nations final. Spellbinding live cricket tomorrow on Sky Sports.
Boys, you sure I can't make you a sandwich?
Oh, go away, Mum. Explorers don't eat sandwiches.
Of course not, sorry. Sometimes you just have to rise above it and do the best for them. Like giving them Kingsmill. It's better bread, baked in the oven longer for a better taste.
I'm starving. What's that noise? Oh, look, wow. Oh, Scruffy.
Kingsmill. It really is better bread.
Vaseline Intensive Care Research have developed a new 2-in-1 hand and nail lotion which softens your hands and helps keep your nails this strong.
Try Swedish bacon. Leaner than...
It's movie time!
Wine! This place is a pigsty!
Wait! A duel to prove our superiority. Use your weapon!
What a bore. This is the Mega Drive 2, one of the most powerful 16-bit machines ever made. Go on, pig. Make my day.
Yes, stop hogging it.
This is the end! And this is the other end. Mega CD!
So, try Swedish bacon!
Try Mega Drive. That's a real pig.
JJB Sports have scored again, making you the winner. The Liverpool and Rangers promo jackets in adult sizes, £34.99. And junior sizes, £29.99. The Premier League champions Manchester United quilted jacket, unbelievable value at £29.99. And the Rangers tracksuit, all sizes available at only £19.99. Shop at the store that never fails to score. JJB Sports.
If you're having trouble staying awake at night, take 2 of these.
Hello, I'm Nick Ross. And I'm quite cute.
Add some diced carrot.
You must be mad.
And top it all off with a few fashionable accessories.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome again to Top of the Top. ABBA, Swedish. I knew them when they were a Lancashire club dancing trio.
Alternatively, invite the lads round for a tasty snack.
Guys, I really think we ought to get it together, maybe to eat something.
But if all else fails, you better see a doctor.
Right. This might just work.
Alternative late-night entertainment from UK Gold. Get the gang round and go wild.
Jimmy, we're off to McDonald's!
This commercial is dedicated to all those who know what practice makes. And at McDonald's do takeaway.
Seize the day.
Great game here at Nosey Road tonight, and it's ended all square, 16 points apiece. Bernard Dwyer with 2 tries, Steve Prescott with 4 goals. They're the 16 points for Saints. Halifax 16 came from 2 Mark Preston tries, the try from Robinson and 2 goals from Schuster. So Halifax 3 tries to 2, but after 12-6 down at half-time, a tremendous second-half display from Halifax, particularly in defence. Well, Bill Arthur is now with a couple of the try scorers, 1 from each side. Bernard Dwyer in a moment, but first of all, Mark Preston of Halifax. No, it's the other way round, I beg your pardon. It's Mark Preston in a moment, Bernard Dwyer of St Helens first.
Bernard, do you think draw's a fair result?
On the night, it probably is, but St Helens dressing room, we're very disappointed tonight. We set our target, dropping our points before Christmas, and to drop a point at home is deadly, like.
all due respect to Halifax, who came out and they set their targets high and they went to the point. Good luck to them.
There was a stage early on, I think, when you went, was it 12-4 or something like that, 12-6 anyway, and you certainly looked as though you were about to step on the gas then, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, well, I think that's what went through the team, and you can't afford to start thinking like that. You've got to keep the pressure on right for the full 80 minutes. Halifax showed that tonight, and we was lucky to get a point, really.
Personally, though, you must be pleased. 2 tries.
Yeah, 2 tries, but still very disappointed. It's losing money at Joe Rome. That's what matters to me.
I think that's the first time you scored 2 in a game, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but full length pitch, as you can see again, 2 full lengthers, that'll do me.
As you say, Mark Preston got 2 50-yarders. Mark, you must be delighted with both of those.
Yeah, very pleased. The last couple of weeks, I've not been getting on the score sheet last 3 games, so I needed that for my confidence, and I was really pleased to get over twice.
Could you believe your luck?
Not really, no. I thought we played well. In the first half, we were under a hell of a lot of pressure. Obviously, we went in 12-6 down, and we knew at the start of the second half we had to start well and score, and we did. And we got ahead 16-12, and obviously we gave away 2 silly penalties. And we're probably a little bit disappointed, as I suppose Saints are, just to get the draw.
But a point is probably of more value to you.
Oh yeah, I think so. You know, obviously there won't be many teams come here and win this season, and obviously I think Malcolm will probably be quite pleased with the 1 point.
Do these 2 tries against St Helens maybe lay the ghost of last season's error that most people, I'm sure people still remind you of, including ourselves?
Yeah, that's right. I didn't watch Boots and all last time, but I believe it was on again. In the first try, I probably should have gone nearer the post, but I was just that determined just to put the ball down without bouncing it, you know, just to get it out of the system, really. Cheers.
Mark Preston happy with his 2 tries, but perhaps unhappy that they've only come away with a point. The match facts from the first draw between these 2 sides at Nosey Road for almost 40 years. 1954, the last draw between these 2 here. Team tackles, well, both sides worked hard, didn't they? Scrums 8-5 in Saints' favour. Penalties 6-2 in Saints' favour. Handling errors 8-9. Well, not too much to choose between the 2 sides there. And the possession going St Helens' way in each half. The penalty count, interesting, 6-2. I can tell you that we were given quite a bit of stick by the supporters as we made our way up to the studio here, by the St Helens supporters, it must be said, for us to have a go at the referee. But with a penalty count like that, Steve-O, how can you have a go at him?
Oh, well, they're pretty biased at this, this part of the world, but I think the referee was a very brave man indeed, because he gave a very unusual penalty late in the game, which allowed St Helens to at least get 1 point.
Yes, indeed. We'll maybe take a look at that a bit later on. But 16-all for result?
I think so, but I think Halifax perhaps will be more happy than St Helens, as Bernard Dwyer indicated, that they went in at half-time leading 12-6, and quite frankly, I think they just went to sleep a little bit. I think that they had Halifax in the first half. It looked as though they were taking control, and I think they just walked out in the second half in the first 10 minutes. Perhaps they thought that's all they had to do. Well, you've got to work in this game of rugby league, and that's what Halifax did in the second stanza, and full credit to Halifax. They really fought back well.
They won in quotation marks the match 3 tries to 2, didn't they? And that will give Halifax a lot of encouragement, I would think.
I think the confidence that they needed to go. I mean, when you lose your skipper in Carl Harrison midway through the first half, it's not the best thing to happen to you. They're having problems with injuries at Halifax, and I'm sure that Malcolm Real will be quite happy with it. I'm sure that the big surprising thing, and I kept mentioning it in the commentary, was that St Helens are very famous at putting on set moves, and quite frankly, I only saw 1, and that didn't come off all that well in this game. So I think a lot of work still has to be done with St Helens. They were doing far too much one-out football.
I wonder whether that was credit to Halifax or the fact that St Helens just didn't play to their game.